This YCN segment is brought to you by M.J. Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Hey, welcome into this episode of YCN Sports Talk. I'm your host this week, Andrew Zerhide, joined by guest Dustin Ribellini. Thanks for joining us, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get right into things. So this week, Patriots going up against the Titans in the playoffs. But first off, let's talk about some Patriots drama, of course.
Wouldn't be the playoffs without Patriots drama,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. And so let's talk about the whole thing with Jimmy Garoppolo and Robert Kraft maybe forcing Belichick to trade Garoppolo and Belichick just not happy. What are your thoughts about all this?
Yeah, we saw the article come out last Friday for the ESPN article saying there was some infighting within the Patriots locker room. I really don't know what to believe at this point in the media. I think it is a little bit overblown.
Yep.
I think that the Patriots realized that, hey, we have Tom Brady, who's really not slowing down. He's going to be around for another year or two. We're not going to be able to sign Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's get rid of him and see what we can get for him. I think they made the right move. As well as Garoppolo's played, you were not going to be able to sign him. You had to get rid of him, get something for him. You got a team set up now as the number one seed going into the AFC playoffs in really good form going forward. So I don't really believe much of this drama that we read about.
Yeah, I think with the Patriots, a lot of the drama is always overblown with them. But I have heard that maybe Tom Brady was worried about his job security when Garoppolo. When his trade value was at its highest and he didn't get traded, Tom was kind of worried. Why is Garoppolo sticking around? But I think. I think it was probably a good idea, by whoever it was, Kraft or Belichick, to trade him when they did, because his value was dropping. He wasn't playing at all. But let's move on to their playoff game against the Titans this Saturday night at 8:15 p.m. What are your expectations for that game?
I think the Titans are a really good matchup for the Patriots.
Yep.
A team that is not very explosive on offense. We know the Patriots defense at times has shown some flaws against passing teams. Marcus Mariota is not a guy that's going to drop back and throw 40 passes and beat you. We saw that last week against Kansas City. They kind of got, quote, handed the game. Second half, the Chiefs didn't play very well. I think this is a perfect matchup for the Patriots. I think you're going to see the offense come out, firing on all cylinders, get an early lead, let that defense play with a lead, and going to make it really hard for a young, inexperienced quarterback in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Pats, I don't think it'll be the biggest challenge for them. But last year, we do have to remember the Texans, they gave the Patriots, is a pretty good game. I know the Texans, they had a really good pass rushing, and I think that's one way to definitely, pressure Tom. I think that's one way to beat them. But I do think the Pats will probably win this one. We'll talk about that later with our picks of the week. But also, the Pats could get more healthy. Their offense, I don't think they've scored as many touchdowns as they had in past seasons. But, they could get Chris Hogan back and maybe even Malcolm Mitchell. He hasn't played at all this year. Yeah,
Malcolm Mitchell has not played at all this year. And anytime you get that bye week going into your first playoff game, that's huge. You get rest, you relax, kind of retool your game plan. I think you'll see Hogan back this week. Mitchell, I read the other day, maybe not as guaranteed as Hogan is, but anytime you have more weapons for Tom Brady, that's a good thing to have, because Rob Gronkowski, as great as he is, he can't carry the load the whole postseason. You're going to get Rex Burkhead back, it looks like. It looks like the Patriots are getting healthy at the right time of the year, and that's scary for the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if the Patriots do win and the Steelers win, we'll talk about that more later also, but let's say the Pats and the Steelers meet up in the AFC Championship. What are your expectations for that game?
If those were the two teams, I think I would favor New England. One, it's going to be in New England. And two, to me, it just seems like the Patriots mentally have that advantage over the Steelers, which that's something that, we're not professional athletes, but that's something that can't be overlooked in sports. When you don't believe you can win, it's one thing to say, oh, we believe we can go in there and beat them. But never having done it in a situation like this, and we saw this game in Pittsburgh that ended on that interception, that crazy interception. Right. I think that just puts some more doubt in the Steelers' mind and says, hey, we had these guys done, and they still took it to us at the end.
Yeah, that game, I think it was definitely demoralizing for the Steelers. losing that game to the Pats. And whenever you lose to the Pats in that fashion, you're just close to being the best team. That's definitely defeating for them. I think if the Pats do make it to the Super Bowl, who do you think they'll face?
It's too hard to tell. The NFC is so good right now. We'll get into that later. Yeah. But either way, I think the Pats are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I talked with Jeremy about this recently. What if the Pats beat the Vikings, and the Vikings would be the first team ever to play in Minnesota at their home stadium in the Super Bowl? That could be very interesting. But we'll get more into that later. And when we come back, we'll talk about the Boston Celtics and the really good season they're having right now. I think 33 wins already. But we'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.